When I was a kid, I had all these ambitions about myself. I had all these thoughts about the way I would live my life and who I would become in the future. I thought I would be a great inventor who made a product that would be dispersed, distributed around the world, and be in every household. That's what I wanted to be. My idols were Nikola Tesla, um, Thomas Edison, what was his name? Albert Einstein. Those guys were my idols. But the thing was, at that age, I thought, hey, what's going to get me there is school. Because school is where you learn. Okay, well, what's going to get me there is my mom. Because my mom has my best interests at heart. What's going to get me there is the teachers. But it's not me. I honestly never even crossed my mind that I could be the one to make my future. That I could be the one to be the inventor. I made drawings and sketches and I did all that, but it always went through the teacher. It always went through my parents. And if they didn't tell me what to do next, well, I did nothing. And so that's what happened. I just did nothing. I focused on school, became a good student, and learned to dislike learning because school made it into a game rather than a activity of creation. Learning is overall a creative process. You can't turn it into some logical, systematic game. Anyway, what I'm talking about here is you've got to be the one to make the change. You've got to be the one to step out there and do it for yourself. What I could have done as a little child, my little invention, is ask the teacher what's next. I didn't even do that. I could have asked the teacher, "Hey, is there a science fair coming up? What can I do with this?" I could have asked my mom, "What now?" I didn't even ask, dude. What the hell? Alternatively, I could have carried on. I could have decided to build the little invention I made. I could have asked what is an inventor and got more clarification. But instead of going for my own interests, I went from the interests of my teachers, my mom, my dad, and that's it. I was a very validation driven person. And what I've learned is people can't do it for you. They can help you, they can point you, they can push you, they can do the most for you. But at the end of the day, you've got to make that mental click, that mental shift, and just get it done. Just start doing what needs to be done. And without it, you stagnate, you follow set paths in stone, and you don't get what you want. You don't even you don't fulfill your own prophecy. You don't become the person you're meant to be. Fulfill your potential. So you have to control. You have to do your own thing. Okay, figure it out on your own. Not figure it out on your own, but act on your own. Decide what matters to you, what's true to you, and act on it. Then, of course, we have that fear, which is probably the reason I didn't do anything at all. I was so scared of authority. I was so scared that I would seem stupid, that I was not the smartest the child in the room. I was scared. I was anxious. My self-esteem, my self-worth was low in the ground. And I made it that way, of course. But because of that, it was a lot harder to get out there. It was a lot harder to make the effort. Anyway, university, I've changed myself a bit. High school, whoa, that was a tough one actually. The way they made us get less sleep than we needed, the way the way they put strict regimen on us, It was difficult to learn anything else, but it taught me to trudge through and just do what needs to be done. And that skill came through later. It was a skill of courage. It was a skill of being bold. Without that skill, it's a bit difficult to traverse your fears and anxieties. And how do you get that skill? You've got to realize you can't do it alone. There's a lot of things you can't do alone. There's a lot of some things you just can't, dude. I'm sorry. I'm sure you'll find a way eventually. But do you want to do it eventually, or do you want to do it as soon as possible? Would you like to break your anxiety now, or in the next 10 years sometime? You know? The important thing to note about help is that they're not giving you handouts. They aren't helping you for the day. They are helping you to learn how to help yourself. That is the mindset you go in when you ask for help. Because if you're asking for, like, I don't know, money or food or something, like, okay, it has its place, but that's not gonna do it half the time. Because then you have to ask again. But if you ask for, like, how do I make this? How do I do this? Where do I go for that? You can be self-sufficient and self-responsible. And that's what matters, because people are not here to help you every day for the rest of your life. They're here to help you a couple times so that you get on your feet, so that you can do what needs to be done and be the man who you need to be for yourself. Oh, it's a long and winding road, dude. It's a long and winding road. But the good part is you can't stand still. You keep moving on this road, dude. You keep going. Like, you just don't have a choice, honestly. Things will happen, and you will have to decide how you feel about it. You will have to be the guy in those times. You will have to say, okay, I deserve this. This is my mistake. Or, okay, no, like, that's it. That's all you can really say. I should have done this. I should have done that. How can I be better in the future? That's all you have. You can get mad, sure. They crossed your boundaries. But if you don't act on that madness, you just get more mad, innit? You gotta act on your anger. Not by fighting or revenge, but by setting boundaries. It's like, that's why you're angry, because the boundary was not put in place. And the best way to accept people or situation, not the best, but it's one of the ways, is to give up on it. When I used to fight with my sister all the time, but there came a point where I was like, yeah, I will not, because she was behind us in the family hike trail, like, constantly, and we always had to wait for her. So I decided I'm gonna walk behind her, keep her pushing, keep her going. And despite the fight I had with her earlier, so, but that was for the sake of the family and not her. And that's what the difference. You probably have something that's more important in your life than this thing that's making you angry. Sometimes, especially if it's not related to this thing that's important to you, it's best to give up on this thing that's making you angry or frustrated. Giving up is a form of acceptance. It's a form of surrender. You give up on a situation. That's just how it is. I'm not going to try and fix it. Done. You've accepted it. Well done, dude. That's kind of step one in this whole process of, becoming a better person and fighting for ourselves. It's that acceptance, You are the way that you are. The situation is the way that it is. And now we move forward. And now we accept it. And now we can say, okay, what's next? What can I do? Giving up on things is good. Forgiving things is good. Same feelings, different perspective. But the surefire way to make sure nothing bothers you ever again is to feel indifferent about it, which I guess is what acceptance and forgiveness does, and giving up does. It aids in indifference and makes these things hold no more power over us. Okay, well, I spoke for 10 minutes. Yeah, thanks. I guess I'll see you some other time. Should be doing this every day, but yeah. Oh, I don't have a habit tracker, do I? Sometimes you need external things to hold you accountable because it's a reflection of what's inside. And sometimes what's inside is not there all the time. You need to be reminded of it. External can remind you, external can reflect back to you, and external can make it into a game, something enjoyable. And when progress is involved, it's most of the time it's enjoyable. So make a habit tracker, dude. Yeah, it's kind of good advice. Bye. See you in the next one.